Alright, we're going to do a 22 Magnum, 22 WMR, 22 WMR accuracy test today. I got a whole bunch of different rounds to test out, including the popular ballistic tip and the defense rounds that a lot of people put in pistols, but we're also going to try it out of the rifle here. This is my Rossi, if I'm saying it right, RS22M or something like that. I'll post the link in the description to the review video of this rifle. And there's also a follow-up because I had an issue with this Aguila ammunition here where I had a blown case. So make sure you watch the review video if you want to see that happen on site. And then I also did a follow-up video on that because we sent this gun back to Rossi. Still not comfortable shooting those. Again, watch those videos if you want to know why. But just for the sake of this video today, we are going to shoot a few of them just for accuracy, but I'm going to be careful because we were still having pretty bad bulged cases on those. Anyways, so let's see, what do we got here? I got all these CCI here. So this one's a game point, 40 grain. Let's say, yeah, soft point, jacketed soft point. Then we got the VMAX, 30 grain. So it's got the ballistic tip in it. And then these are just solids, but they're not a round nose. They're actually a little bit of a flat nose. So that's good. It'll give you a little more punch. And potentially yaw or tumble in gel, which we're going to be doing gel tests on all those too. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. And then from Hornady, we have the Critical Defense 45 grain FTX. So it's got the little rubber ballistic tip in there. I'm going to pull all these out and show them to you guys in a second. Then their 30 grain VMAX ballistic tip. The Spear Gold Dot, big old hollow points, personal defense round. And I just found these.
Very important. So these are not 22 Magnums. I literally found this out while editing this video because I noticed it said 22 WRF. So that actually stands for 22 Winchester rimfire. But it's actually a shorter case than a WMR. So it's actually right in between a 22 LR and a 22 WMR 22 Magnum. So it's longer than an LR but shorter than the Magnum. I had no clue. So that explains why these jammed in my gun later in the video. So yeah, interesting. 45 grains at approximately 1400 some odd feet per second. Who knew? That's awesome that I found these. I had no clue. I didn't even know they existed. So now I can't wait to play with these and do more tests.
These have some pretty big hollow points in them. So I'm looking forward to these and some gel tests. And then of course the Aguila I mentioned, 40 grain soft point. Let's pull one of each of these out and take a look real quick. My table's at an angle, so I got to show it to you this way. They're trying to roll off on me. So again, this is in order. That one. In that order. So I think today I'm just going to do 75-yard groups. I don't know how some of these are going to do at 100 yards. I do plan on testing further ranges later. But just for today, let's do a 75-yard group. Give all these a fair chance, and then in a future video I'll move it out further, maybe like 150 or something like that. And I also plan on doing a long range video with this. I mean, I got my regular 22 out to 400 yards, so I bet you I can get some 500-yard hits with this. But anyways, we're going to set up at 75 yards to do these accuracy comparisons here today. Alright, so I'm going to be right here. I'm going to fire them in the order that I just showed you guys. I'm going to post it up on screen. So as I said, 75 yards. And unfortunately my GoPro died. Both batteries I brought. I just did 2 previous videos and went through the batteries doing those. So I had intended to splice the footage and have the GoPro. But instead I'm just going to have to take this camera down there. And so you guys will just see the shots going on the targets. Or target, I should say. And I'll just post it up on the screen what each one is. And then we'll just do it that way. That's all I can do right now. All right, some interesting results. So, first off, let me tell you, here goes my target. This isn't the best setup for me. This table is leaning this way and downhill as well, and I have to stand my bag on end like that. So I could be a little more accurate, like if I was at the other range. I tend to shoot a little more accurate there because I'm a little more steady. With that being said, I was still making pretty good shots, but each one of these groups, if I had a slightly better rest, I was a little more steady, you should be able to tighten those groups up a little bit. So with that being said, here's our results. And also, as I said earlier in the video, I'm going to take these out further, so I'll probably double the range next time, and we'll see how they do at further range. So our first group was this CCI game point here. Not too great. Then the VMAX, a lot better. The Maxi Mag down here. Then the Hornady Critical Defense right here. Also notice the change of impact. Okay, this one I wouldn't count because I was actually aiming here and it was going clear over there. So after this group, I adjusted my scope, after which I didn't mess with again. So from this one on, the scope stayed the same. So this one was hitting right here. And then this one, you can see that the point of impact changed a little. And then on this one, instead of being right like these two and maybe a little high, maybe a little low, this one went left and very high. So depending on what you shoot, it's going to change the point of impact. So anyways, those were the Hornady Critical Defense. Those they printed a respectable group for being, you know, what most people consider a pistol round. And then the Hornady VMAX was probably our best group of the day. Now I believe that's the same bullet, other than the tip being different color as the CCI VMAX, but they grouped a lot better for me, so maybe they're loaded more consistent. So then we went to gold dots right here, which the gold dots did pretty well for a defensive round also, and I want to inform you that shot was 100% me. I was aiming here on all these shots and they were grouping there, but this one I absolutely pulled. I came over here and I meant to drift back, but I was a little too tight on the trigger and it went off about right there, so that's why it threw that about an inch. So that is 100% me, so you should bring that back here real close to this group. And that's how tight those grouped. So those did really well because that one flyer was 100% my fault. Then the next one was these Winchesters, and that's the group they did. And that's just part of the group. That's not me or anything. Good shots on all of those. And then finally, the Aguila down here, and we had two in the same hole. And I was aiming here. Now see, again, aiming here and a hit there, aiming here and a hit there, aiming here and a hit there. So depending on which round you use, you're going to have to sight in for it. They're not all going to hit the same spot. But aiming here, and we got a 5-shot group there with two in the same hole. So it's a shame that I had ruptured cases on these. Like I said, check out the link in the description to the review video and the follow-up video of this gun where we went over that. But it's a shame because they're one of the most accurate of the day. Now obviously every gun's going to shoot different. You know, if you have a Marlin or a CZ or something else, you know, it might do better with one than the other. So you got to test for your individual rifle. But for me today with my rifle and this Rossi, these are our results. As I said, that's not the best setup for me, so I'm not as steady as I am at the other range. So you can shrink those groups a little bit. You can expect better accuracy than that. I would say, I don't know, 25-30% better probably. I didn't shoot too bad, and I shot a little quick, but it wasn't going to help me any to slow down because the amount I was moving around through the crosshairs. Like aiming at one of these dots, I was probably, I'm not even pointing. I was probably moving around like this on average, trying to hold on the dot before I would release the round. So like I said, not 100% steady, so you could expect all of these to shoot a little bit better than what I did here today at that range. Like I said, guys, we'll repeat this again, probably 150 yards, and I am going to go out even further. Just do some long range shooting with this, and we're definitely having gel tests coming up for all these as well. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you'll be notified when I post. That's going to wrap her up. I appreciate you guys watching. If you liked the video, make sure you leave me a like, and I'll catch you on the next one.